This is our stunning American Samoa, home of KVCK TV.
O te whaatalo whātu lau mai mo mai Amerika Samoa le nei fo iaso le mai ai o whiau mga aduenga sa whengai mo le tātou tunu e talo tono lo solonga le leif ia fuafuanga fo i le nei a fiafi a mai se le ato le tunu i malolonga. O si mai lau mai mo ai se whaapoponga le nei o le tātou polo kalame o le pui pui lo soifua. E peo na sila fia o le nei polo kalame o se fuafuanga le malo whaapema le tātou komiti o le koviti. E peo na taitai fono ai le fionga le rutenda kovana ia talawenga e le asalo va ale le ale. I le sosoane ai le tātou lo iasili a whainu le lei. E longolongo puia li i le tātou tunu e tu sai o fuafuanga le tātou malo a whianga i le atunu o ma le whaama i o COVID-19 fumaliva. O le vai aso na te neile na talano i nai le sosoane mo maliu e awala mai le fima. Ma na tua mo ainga uma na uma soifua o e pele i lātou o na o le whaama i o COVID-19. E mawhaiona e talo sanga le nei se leni ina ia mawai se whaama maavenga le nei taimi whainga tā. A fai sa le mau le polo kalame fai lava na tur sila ye lungo le apio folinga lau KVCK. O le afia finei, o le o mātou talano atu masui o le Medicaid, fa amana malama le tātou talo for pass, ya e mai se le tufa ino o tātou tau mafa, mo i la tau na afia i le fa mai o le COVID-19. O le o mātou fa atasia i le afia finei, ya madisio sui o le tātou ofiso le EOC, a le ngate lea o le ofiso wa onga lo ngafa ma le tufa ino o tātou mea tau mafa. La saula sa taimi i ona amatalia le o tātou polokalame le nei fiafi. E whaafitai le whaatasmai lo tātou. Tunu o talofa and greetings to you all. Thank you once again for joining us on the 4th edition of our COVID Safe program. Many countries enacted travel restrictions in response to the spread of COVID-19 that originated in China. American Samoa enacted a travel ban in 2020 when news of the COVID-19 first came out of the mainland. But in 2021, Governor Manu Peletimonga announced at the opening of the 37th legislature that American Samoa government will have its first repatriation flight from Honolulu on January 29, 2021. Now, due to the COVID-19 travel restrictions, many residents of American Samoa were displaced and unable to return to their homes and community. The American Samoa government launched its Safe Travels program, which is the Talofa Pass, to bring residents home. As flight paths reopen, travelers use Talofa Pass web and mobile applications to expedite required forms, upload vaccination information, and complete testing requirements before departure. Now, joining us today, we are very excited to have here with us the Director of Medicaid, Sandra King-Young, and Benefits Division Head of the Medicaid, Austin Asiata, as well as members of the Department of Education, Christina Fuala'au, who is the Assistant Director, and Makirita Fiso, the Division Head of Special Projects, as well as the Deputy Director of EOC, Mavis Wangae. Thank you very much for joining us today to discuss the Talofa Pass and, of course, our food distribution. Laua fionga atofo, la amataia I laua fionga le tamaitai whaatono le tātou Medicaid, e whaamala malama le tātou Talofa Pass, mo le sila fia le atunu ia ona whaanga solo ai leo le tātou polo kalame mo le nei fiafi mo lo whaaro lava.
Whaftai lava I love sunga tosi. Hello everyone. Mahalo lava soifua manuia. Whatalo whatu mua lava I tātou atunu o lo whaafonga mai le nei polo kalama. As Tosi had stated, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give a little bit of a background and explanation on our Talofa Pass system and the role that it plays in our Safe Travels program. The American Samoa Safe Travels program that began in 2021 involves a lot of different programs. And the Talofa Pass is just a piece of that Safe Travels program. The Talofa Pass is the management software. It is a software system that the American Samoa government uses among its multiple agencies to manage the data. That's all it does. The Talofa Pass doesn't make any decisions. Those decisions are made by the American Samoa government from whichever department that needs to issue that decision on immigration, quarantine, testing. The Talofa Pass is the system that allows us to communicate not only with our multiple agencies, also with Hawaiian Airlines, but also with our passengers and our people. So I want to just clarify that. Other parts of the Safe Travels program includes our Department of Health that sets the policies for testing, the quarantine requirements, the testing that comes out of Hawaii, and the testing that is happening here with our community spread outbreak. The Department of Legal Affairs manages the immigration status of people that are coming in. So all of that encompasses our American Samoa Safe Travels program. Multiple agencies are involved in that on the back end of the Talofa Pass system that allows us to manage travel, managing the outbreak that we are experiencing right now. And the system has been an instrumental help for the agencies, because in reality, the system was purchased for the American Samoa government to manage its work with multiple agencies. So let me explain the role of the Talofa Pass for the food distribution, because I know that's that's what we're dealing with right now. The requirement for people, once you test positive, the next step is, for you to be treated if you choose to accept treatment at either LBJ or the Department of Health. But one of the requirements that you must do is register or create a profile on the Talofa Pass system to allow the government to manage the data. Keep in mind, we are now over 5,000 positive cases. The system allows us to manage that volume of data so that we as government agencies are not passing manual lists back and forth amongst each other. So once you register and create a profile on the Talofa Pass system, that allows our Department of Homeland Security, our Department of Education, our Department of Health, our Department of the Medicaid Agency, and the Governor's Office to manage the list of people that we need to assist in terms of medical treatment, quarantine, as well as food delivery. So the requirement to register on the Talofa Pass is in the Governor's declaration, monthly declaration. You must register. It is also stated in the quarantine and the isolation directive that is issued to you if you test positive at the test sites. It states so in there that part of your quarantine directive requires you to register on the Talofa Pass so the government can assist you in terms of managing the list, who you are, where you live, what village you're in, and what number you're in terms of diagnosis date, so we can determine how the Department of Education can deliver the food. So the food assistance that is being provided to you, I want to be very clear and say that the food assistant is the government's effort to help our people who have tested positive so they can ensure that once you're on lockdown for however many days you've been required to lock down, that we provide you with some food assistance. It is not required by law. It is a discretionary effort by the government to help our people. And there are many agencies involved in delivering the food to your house. The Department of Homeland Security, the Medicaid Agency, Department of Commerce, Department of Public Safety, the Office of Samoan Affairs, Department of Education, all of these 6 agencies involving hundreds of people are involved in the food delivery. So please be patient, okay, and understand that your effort to register on the Talofa Pass system allows us to manage the volume of positive cases and the data. And if you are positive right now, you should be getting daily alerts every day to check in. That's the other medical part of the need for you to register, because you've got to check in so that our Department of Health can see whether you have developed symptoms while in home quarantine. If you develop symptoms, that list is seen by the Department of Health because they have access to the Talofa Pass system to monitor you, and then they should call you. You will not get a call if you are still healthy at home, like you don't have symptoms. But you are supposed to get a call if you check in and say that you have developed some kind of symptom that could be COVID related, okay? So these are just some of the reasons why it is important for our people to register on the Talofa Pass system. It allows our government agencies to render assistance, whether it's medical, emergency, or in this case, food assistance that we're talking about today. So I think that's all I want to share. I can answer some other questions later, but I would like to turn it over to our to my other colleagues here. We have Deputy Marvis here who can share some information from the Emergency Operations Center. All of the stuff that we do for food delivery is coordinated through the Emergency Operations Center, okay? And what we do, the Medicaid office, a lot of people have been calling our office the 4777 number for assistance. But all we can help you with is to help you register on the system. And later, Austin Asiata will be able to talk to you about that. That list comes from our mapping team. And at our office in Tafuna, there is a base there that includes our great staff from Homeland Security, Office of Commerce, Public Safety, and Agriculture. They're all there helping you and calling you to register on the Talofa Pass. Once that list is created in the Talofa Pass, that list is then accessed by our EOC, Homeland Security team, and our Department of Education. They're the ones that coordinate the delivery of the foods. So please understand that the Talofa Pass registers you, but it's the operations and execution by our other agencies that actually do the delivery to your houses. So I will turn it over to Tosi. I guess you can.
Thank you, Director Tofo. Before we bring Marvis in, Austin, can I quickly come to you, Fatmul, because this is one of the questions that we always get asked is, how can you register first and foremost on Talofa Pass? Fa'afefiona is stara tangata dungal Talofa Pass, Fatmul.
Thank you so much, Tosi, for the opportunity. As you mentioned, and as Director Sandra King-Young mentioned, this is one of the frequently asked questions. How do I register for a Talofa Pass? So we've put up some videos, video tutorials online on Talofa Pass Facebook page that thoroughly go through the process of registering for a Talofa Pass when you are affected by COVID. You can self-register on talofapass.as.gov on any browser, whether it's Safari or Google Chrome, or by downloading the app on any phone or on your personal device. The mapping team, the other option that you have, we have a mapping team, as Director mentioned, consisting of DOC, Homeland Security, Agriculture, as well as the Medicaid office. We have callers 24/7 that are contacting these cases directly and assisting with registration. Now, in order to register and creating a profile on Talofa Pass, number one, you must have an email. Now, if you don't have an email, again, the EOC mapping team is there to assist with creating an email for you. So there is no reason for you to not register on Talofa Pass. Once your profile is completed, and by completing the profile, again, you have to visit the talofapass.as.gov website. You have to fill in the profile. Fa'atumulo talaanga I the Talofa Pass. It's na yesau emaili. Verify the email. Fa'amaunia lau emaili. Yeah, mamanatua lau upu fa'ailoilo. Yeah, or your password, because that is one of the challenges. People create the profile today, and then they forget their passwords tonight. But it is crucial that you remember and write down your password so that you don't have to re-register the next day. Afamai alo talaanga Completing your profile consists of the basic personal information, like your first name, Olowingo Muamua, Olofaiu, your last name, middle initial, your date of birth, Olowasuifua, Oloitupa, or gender, yeah, and things like that. Occupation, telephone number, as well as citizenship. So once the profile is created, you do not have to enter in any trips because you are not a traveler. So for positive cases registering on Talofa Pass, you are basically just creating a Talofa Pass profile, and this is a personal profile. Once that is done, you will provide the mapping team, which is our office, the number given 699-4777, with your email used on this account, so the mapping team can successfully link your DOH file to the newly created profile on Talofa Pass. Again, directions can be given to you, and our team can assist you over the phone. Because we are still practicing social distancing, you cannot come to our office. Many positive cases have come to the office. You are not allowed to enter the Azteca building where we are based out of. Once you create this profile, we link the profile, then you are able to receive daily health check-ins. And that's the goal, is that DOH can monitor your symptoms through Talofa Pass on a daily basis for 14 days. And then also it'll qualify you for the ASG food assistance, which I know most of you, that's one of the reasons why we all register now, is to get the food assistance from the ASG. Registration with EOC mapping team is the process, and then as Director mentioned, it goes to the EOC, and then it funnels down to the DOE for food delivery. One important note, actually two, if you have an existing Talofa Pass account from your recent travels, you don't have to re-register. You just need to provide our office with that email. If you remember the password and you're able to access that account, you can just provide us with that email, and we will link your account instantly. Also, for multiple positive cases, for example, a household of 10 and they all tested positive, you only need one person. You can individually create your profiles, but to save time, and especially for the minors who need to be who need to be 18 years or over to register on themselves, you can have one email for the entire family, and we will link all these 10 people to that one email. So say, for example, I link my whole family to my email, I would get, and I would be able to do symptom updates from my phone for my whole family.
Marlo, Austin, you've answered that question, because that was one of the questions that we get asked all the time, is that can I submit a single application for the whole family? But I'm glad you've tackled that one. But how long does the approval process take for Mulmuli?
The approval process
For the registration of Talofa Pass?
Oh,
it happens.
Registration for Talofa Pass only takes, for the tech savvy, especially the youth and people that are constantly online, it'll only take you a minute or two, 3 at most, because it's just a 2-window. You click on Talofa Pass, create new account, that's the one window. The second window is just completing your profile. And then, like any other app that we all know, any other app that we're used to, and that requires an email, you have to verify your email. So a lot of people have been giving us false emails, and you're not able to verify that because we cannot link a DOH file to a non-existing email account. So I think that's one of the challenges right now, is people just give us random emails, but we need your accurate email so we can successfully link the accounts.
We have that video. Sorry, Director Toffel. We have that video, and we have been playing it all throughout the week, last week and this week, during the news break, just to explain to the people, the application process and that. Sorry, Director Toffel, you were saying something.
Because Austin has raised this, I just want to add and speak to this issue on the accuracy of your submission on the system. And I really want to emphasize this to our people. If you do not disclose accurate information on the Talofa Pass system, then we cannot help you. And and I'll let our group, talk more about some of those issues, but it's very important for you to know that the Talofa Pass, the system is highly secure. You've got to put in your accurate phone numbers. You have to put in your accurate village. You've got to put in an accurate email, because if you don't do those things, then that's when we start to have problems. We can't contact you for assistance. We can't deliver to the right village or to the right household. And there's no way for us to allow the Department of Health to check your development of any illness, symptoms over the system. Remember that the system helps the government do its work. So when you're talking about right now, we have over 5,000 positive cases. Our Department of Health, carries the burden of monitoring the medical status of those 5,000 plus people. So it's very important for you to do your daily check-ins, because that's what the Department of Health is looking at. Did you develop a symptoms? And they'll call you if you do. They won't call you so long as you stay healthy. But we can't call you if you fraudulently mislead us by putting the wrong information on the system because you don't want to be contacted, or you just want to, you have 3 houses, but we go to the wrong house. Please give us your primary house where we can find you. So I just want to speak to that, about the need for our people to please answer the questions on the system accurately, because that helps us help you.
Malo whaftaila o whionga te mai whatonu. Nai pēr tau whawhonga mai te saunoanga te mai whatonu. E tā ua tele le saolo talino whasiri runga le tātou Talofa Pass. Ina ia mawhai so soani atu le Talofa Pass i lo wha moe. Nā fo pēna wha malamla mātu le sunga ia Austin. O tātou ia e stara runga le tātou Talofa Pass. Ai se se le email wha te inga. Ia e le mawhai ona so soani atu le Talofa Pass i le tūlanga mai tele ai ia whawhitauli i le teimi o le tātou le stara. Ona o se tasi leo whamoe le tātou malo, le whaongaina le tātou Talofa Pass o le tuwhatuwhaina o tau mawha i le aturu, a maise i lātou ua a whia ia unga le COVID-19 maliva. Ia leo mātou whaatasiai ma le sunga le sui whaatonu o le matanga luenga o le EOC, le sunga ia Marvis, ia whaapea fo'i ma sui o le tātou matanga luenga o le ofisa o a onga, i le sosoni atu a sui o le Medicaid, wa la tau nei o lelo o ngā rue whaatasi mo le tuwhatuwhaina o tau mawha i le aturu. Lau sunga le sui whaatonu, e mawhaiona e sau noa e whaamalamalama i le aturu o lo mai mo mai le nei a fiafi. Le tātou polokalame le a wina to i tua i a tau mawha i la tau o lo a fia i a ungo le whaama e ro Kvzktv.
I whautaila mo si lau sunga tosi, mo le sila fia o le pa ia ma le malo le tātou atunu. O whapeona whaafonga me leitu la. Ea o se whaapopo atu i le saunoanga fo'i a le whianga whaatolu sili a Sandra King. O le Talofa Pass, ea e tā uteli. E mana o mia lava le tātou ngā lue whaatasi. Ia wā a whaale tonu mai ia tūlanga o whaamau ia po o tātou lisi leo o maua mai le ofisa o le Medicaid, ia talu ai ono le whaale tono o whaamaumau o lo tu tono le tātou Talofa Pass, teimi o le stalai, ia ona whaale tono atu ala ia i nei, ia o atu lava i si tātou mtanga luenga fo ia o lo o sosoani mai pe o le ofisa a onga, ia mai isi o tātou paanga. Ia ai o se whaamamanga pu o le tau whainga fo'i po o le pitola au fo'i o lo o ngafa fo'i ma le mtanga luenga o le puipuinga o le whaaloto i whale. O le tau mawhai lava e sosoani e a toe tanga i tasi lava le lisi. Wai o vai aso uma o maua mai le lisi o tato tangata ia ua whaamaunia ua maua le whaamai o le Kvzktv. Ia a o mai lava lisi lea ia mātou mai le tātou ofisa lea o le Medicaid ia ma le TOH. Ia ona tamu whaila ia o le EOC po le tatou ofisa e tau whai reilo toe wawai ma toe tantangai po le mea o sao numera e tau whai e toe wala au e ilo whaale lei umatu langa ia ai le i o atu le lisi o i le tatou ofisa o le o a onga e tau whai lai i le tatou o whangaluenga e wala au ia inga he ato fia tangata o lo o iai o tono to a inga ia po le mea fo i o sao ia fioanga ia o lisi mea o lo tau whai e wawa ai po le mea o moni bea ma o lo o whamaunia ia numero telefoni ia ai tatonu lea sa iei se saunoanga fo i mas whamtalanga fo i sa o atu se teimi o whano e iei lava teimi e o lo o wawa ai a bea ma o lo o whaftai fo i mātou matulanga e whaingata ila matunga luenga o le tau whai e so tai o tatuainga ia ai o le tali o telefoni ia o lisi vaenga o le sao numera ia po afio anga fo i o lo o tu mai tono le lisi taluai ono le o whale tonu fo i o whamaumango o tu tono le tato talo for pass ia ai e pea na sau noa i le fionga le whatonu siri e mnao mia lava le sao o information ia po whamaumango e tu talaanga e tu tono o tato le stala i le talo for pass ia o langa luenga lana o nafane mātou ia au nei whale tonu a ia o vaia pea i le tau whainga ina ia ho atu lava ia tufanga o mea tau mawha i le malo la tunuu o lesi whapopo i le molesidi fia le tatu atunuu e whapai malu atu foi a whai ele o fina ele o tonu foi ma tala fia ngai foi le whafonga anga i le au nanga foi le tatou whainga malo ona o tūlanga lava o koviti o le melo o le pokalama lo o iai nei patu le tatou lisi o tatou inga i o lo o whamaunia ua maua le whamai o koviti i le ofisa wa onga e le o le teime e kiliva atu i tatou taumotanga po afifi se tu lou le whafonga anga e le mawhai lava mātou o na o atu tutonu o maota, o fale, o lawa, e tu tonu atu e i au tatou ki liva o mea tau mawha. E tau whai lava so tai ma le ofisa o Mtaapu Samoa, whai loa atu a inga, e ngata lava i le entrance po o luma atu i le o mea lo o iei le lawa po le fale o a inga, e li mawhai ana mātou sopo atu tutonu atu fale o ngol puipuia fo i o au whainga luenga i whamai nei te u whaapea o matu atu i luma mautia ia ai le o iei se mātou manatu alofa fo i lato nu e whao atu i to tonu o lato mauta. Ia ao sina whaapopopu le al temi nei o sumatos.
E fia se au whaai o tangata ua ave iei i le sosoani le al tatu malo e mo se numera. Tioi, tatua tia Makerita. Whamolmole?
O le awha inga o tangata taitu o tasi. O iei le afsoswan. Ia e tonu wafe whāsila uiwa suman lani. A le awha inga o a inga. Le awha inga o a inga. Ia e iwa sila uiwa suman tasi le awha inga. Ia o se tali atu nā i le whaafsiri ai whamolmole la. Fia fisosoani atu lava manatu se whatoni a maris. Moni lava mwhamau, a o tūlanga o kiriwa e ao peo na sila fia le pa ia man mamanu tato o tunu. O lo iai a fufuanga wa uma na whata atia, ma wa uma foi o na whamau nia e lisi foi o tato taitai man task force. O tūlanga lele o atu o kiriwa i lawa mamau tau a inga taitasi. Ia ua uma foi ona tā pena i tūlanga i pui ai le au whainga nuenga. Watu foi whaamāno le Office of Samoan Affairs. Ia manisi foi o isi office o le Public Works, o le Parks and Recreation. O lo mato ngā nurui lava i tau mawhainga lava ia o atu sosoani tua i a inga. Pe ona iei le lisi o lo tā pena ina le Office o le EOC. Ai e vātua manatu malango atu foi. Lava mai pere on sai. Lava mai ato le on sai le pa ia man mano le atunu. O whaingo fia fo inga tato manuenga le whainga. Ai o le sosoani atuna e wha popo atu le saunoanga le sui whaton. Whaftai la.
O le mongo tala whapea iei, a inga na momone iei, ia me tausami, me ai. E pe taina te ena a inga, e se mawhaanga na te ena a inga le sosoani le malo.
Whaftai tere lava mo le siri lea. E tele atu a inga mawhaanga. Walaina tite e isi a inga. O le whaamaumanga na ia mātou i a inga i o mātou maua mai e le lātou tali i pusa tau mawha nei. O le o mana o mia lātou o atu ia o uma le isolation po le quarantine. Ia pe o le e ano tala no atu tūlanga le o no lawa mamori sa o mai a inga lea le lātou tali i pusa tau mawha i o atu ia lātou.
Well, I think you wanted to add.
No, we're just, trying our best to support the governor's mission here. And under our director, we were told to work with EOC. So we've been, from day one, have been communicating with EOC and with the Dr. King. So
I'm going to give this question to Director Sandra because this is one of the questions that was asked during the previous program, but there was no one that could answer it. And the question was, why is it that you have to register on Talofa Pass to get food assistance when the DOH already has records of those that tested positive? Can I pass this on to you, Director Fatmul Lava?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's very simple. Okay, the Department of Health, it's a separate agency. Okay, and they're dealing with the testing on their website. On the test sites, right? And right now, it's in working with this crisis, every day we're trying to manage as things occur, as things happen, and to try to streamline. So the Department of Health has a different system, and what they're doing is they're doing the medical part, the medical part of registration, and their system, that system is not linked to the Talofa Pass. And so they're very protective because of the personal health information that is involved. They've got to protect that under their authority, right? So, but when you come to register on the Talofa Pass, we're doing that so that we can provide you other assistance that is not medically related, which in this case is the food assistance. So the food assistance list, the list that we have, is a collaboration with the multiple agencies that we have, right? So you've heard from everybody talking here. We've got 3 agencies represented here. Actually, and on the Zoom as well, we've got 6 agencies. And that is to make people understand that this assistance that the government is providing is a collaboration among multiple agencies. And DOH is just one of them. So DOH, they're gathering information for medical purposes on their side, and that's covered under their authority, okay? So their system is not involved with the food delivery, okay? That's not part of their mission, okay? Like I explained earlier, the food delivery is a voluntary assistance that the government is choosing to do for our people. It's not being required under a law. So Medicaid is involved in helping, do that list, the Department of Commerce with mapping out where your house is located so we can know which house we can come to. We print that out from the Talofa Pass system, and we give that over to the Emergency Operations Center at Homeland Security, and together we share that with the Department of Education, Public Safety, Office of Samoan Affairs, all to get this assistance to you. It is to help the government agencies do our work easier and more streamlined so that we don't have 10 separate lists that we're passing around on paper trying to figure out who got delivered to and who didn't get delivered to. This is the technology that we're using as we move towards, into the future. So, we need your help on this. This is not something for us to make your lives harder. In fact, it's to help us do the job easier and hopefully better to get the assistance to you. We live in the 21st century. Technology is a part of our lives. Everybody is on social media. Everybody has a device. And we don't want to, you know, the big picture is we don't want to leave our people behind a digital divide, because we have to survive in the 21st century. So this technology, which is the software that we're using, which is the Talofa Pass, helps the government manage the lists, manages data, manages information, and helps us to hone in on the data that helps us develop policy decisions and helps us to execute operations in a more efficient manner. So that is why we require you to register on the Talofa Pass. It's not to make your lives harder, but it's actually to try and make our operations and execution of assistance that we're delivering easier and more efficient. So give us a chance, and we will try and assist you, you know, faster and better than before. So yeah,
Thank you, Director
does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a question that was given to us last week on the program, and you know, no one could answer it because you know, we're not privy to everything to do with the Talofa Pass. But I'm glad that that's answered, because and I hope the person who put that question up, I hope you're satisfied with the answer that's been provided by Director Tofo. Deputy Director Marvis, you wanted to contribute to that comment by Director Tofo?
Whakatailava. Ia ana se whakapopo atu lava I le saunoanga fo I le whionga le whaatonu sili. O le tūlanga lea pe ona saunoa I le ese fo I o mtafa ioi. O e mo'i o le ngaluenga e whai whaatasi. Ia ai ono le tamu whai lava ia aua ne I nunumi se I tūlou pe overlap I o tātou tawhai ioi. O loo iai lava ia tiute o loo ma tūlanga o loo tamu whai lava ia tātou tangaluenga po ofisa fo I taitasi ine ma oti. Ia aua fo ine eini whaale tonu. Ia peo le whatata inga o saunuanga la whionga le whaatonu. O le tātou tangaluenga leo le soifua maloloina. O loo iai lava lātou mtawhai. O loo tamu whai lava lātou e ngafa ma le tātou whai ngā tui. Ia po tātou suenga. O le tūlanga la lea o po le poka lama fo I o le fufuanga le malo I tātou o mea tau mafa. Pe ona tātou tanoa ina nei aso. O le leo o whaanga ai upenga te whailangi ia o pe o le tātou Talofa Pass. Ina ia whawhaingo fie ia I le tātou ngaluenga. Maua mai ia tātou whamaumaunga ia mai le ofiso o le soifua malolo inga whaunga le tātou a Talofa Pass. Ina ia tamu whai ia aua ne I nunumi ai ia le ia tātou o tangata ia al malo tātou o atunu uleu o whamaunia mai le ofiso soifua malolo inga o maua le whamai. O na tuumelei nei ia o matamu whai lava ia wha so atu mo wha o atu isi o tātou ofisa mtanga luenga ia whaingo fie le tātou ngaluenga.
Malo whaftai, Deputy. Director Tofo?
Can I?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Malisi fo itu langa, you know, that I missed explaining is o lisi tūlanga tāua lava leo le Talofa Pass is to remotely monitor people's health status. Okay. And we were having a difficult time getting people to register o le masalo salo o tatu atunu masalo ia le tūlanga le nei pe se ame o le ale stalai fola to lunga le o le ngai system. But the reality is our government, our Department of Health needs your help for them to help you monitor your health symptoms in case you develop it. It's not just about the food delivery. There is also this part of the system that you got to check in daily to tell us whether you've developed symptoms so that our government can respond appropriately.
My love of Thai Director Tofo. Christina, can I ask you this question, and other members of the panel can assist as well. So say, for instance, you have, say, about 5 people in one household, and they all test positive of COVID. Do they get just one food delivery, or do you mean one delivery per person?
Thanks, Josie. Good question. Yeah, so anyone who's under the list, like we have 10 household members, and they're all tested, each household member gets meals for 14 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they're provided. So that's why we do a household, you know, because you can't just feed the person that's positive. Everybody's quarantined. So whenever we get our lists, we go through it and we put people in their household, how many people in this household, members, and that's how we calculate how much food is given to this family. So I just wanted to answer your list with DOH. It's been very helpful. The data shows. When we were using just DOH's and Austin's list, we were getting returns up to 45, 29, 32. Yesterday, we had only 15. Was it 15? And then 10. So it tells us that the list is, it's being prepared a lot better now. Because it's, we have 78 households that go out, 45 came back. That's almost half. So, that doesn't work for us. So I think the EOC, Marvis and his team has been great. They've been calling the families, because we don't call. We try to do the best. We have a lot of work. People don't see what we do behind the background.
Right.
Every issue is for a family of 5. That's 14 days of food. So we have to calculate exactly how many cases of this, how many cases of that. And we're trying to reach about 100 families because the backlog. So we pushed it further. We've gone 150 families because we understand we're trying to finish this backlog. But I'm glad it's opened up that we can deliver 5 days a week, or we can, that's what we're going to work on after this meeting. Because right now, we're just delivering Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we're trying to do it at least 130 to 150 families to take care of that backlog. So we are really sensitive about meeting these families' needs because we understand we all have families and the hardship is there. So, we're blessed that this government has, a bigger plan.
Right.
So,
Malo, and what has, I want to know, what has been the feedback so far? Are they happy with what they're getting?
Well,
Is it good feedback from when you
it's
go
been
out to the
positive
villages?
feedback to
Okay.
us
What do you
because,
put in those packages?
Yeah.
What's in the food?
Yeah,
well,
what is it?
we have chicken nuggets, we have hamburger, we have spaghetti, we have a set menu. So every order that goes out you're given a menu, what you're supposed to cook for these 14 days. So we've got feedback from parents because they never tasted what their kids eat. So one of them told me in retail, can I get some chicken nuggets? I said, I'm sorry, it's for our children. But, now that we are covering them under this program, they are actually saying what their children eat in school. And we're getting positive feedback.
And they're getting
Fruits
apples
also,
and oranges,
cases.
yeah.
So every deliverer is given a case of apple, case of orange. If we don't have the either, they're getting 2 cases of, fruit is important.
Yeah,
We cannot give you
absolutely.
vegetables because we're not procuring it right now, but we make sure the fruit factor is there. Yeah.
Can I ask, because some who have tested positive, they've gone through their 14, because this is one of the questions that was given to us. Some have gone through the 14-day quarantine, they've done it, and they say that no one has come over to give them food. I know that they had to, in order for them to get food, they had to register on Talofa Pass, right?
Correct. We apologize for that, but our list, we were told to strictly follow the TOC's instructions, and that's what we're doing. We try our best, but by the time the lists get to us, they've already passed their 14 days. So there's nothing we can do about that. It's all above, it's above our heads. I told Rita, we only do what we're told. So we do not make decisions. Our job is to prepare the meals and deliver the meals, and that is what we work on. So any decisions about who doesn't get or what gets, we follow directions.
And you
So
go,
let me-
yes, sorry, you go to,
Yeah, so let me just add to that to help answer your question. The intent of our government is to provide assistance, so there's good faith and there's goodwill to try and provide this food assistance. But oftentimes it's, it's our execution, ele ato to foi, le fatau nuina o matou fa moi moi. But the intent is there. So I hope that starting this week, we are at, as Christina has mentioned, we are going to get together after this session to put together a plan to relook at our lists. And so this is a good opportunity for me to also share that when we have done the deliveries, we have tried to focus on those people who are about to phase out of quarantine as a priority. Because remember, the outbreak happened in February, but the food assistance didn't happen until March, when the government decided, hey, maybe we can do something to help our people who are on lockdown. So from the very beginning, we were a little bit behind on the schedule, and we're still trying to catch up. But I hope that we can fix that this week, and we'll see better results in getting to all of our families. So if you just tested yesterday for COVID, please don't call our office. It may be a while before we get to you, because there are people who have 3 more days before they, exit out of quarantine, and those are the families that we want to get to first. So give us a week to get to you, and if in a week you have not received assistance, then you can call us. But
don't call you at 10 o'clock at night.
and please try and call us between the hours of 8 and 4 and not 8 o'clock at night, because our employees, our staff do need to go home to their families. But yeah.
Well, Deputy, is this going to be so no? Yeah,
Hei, ta tonu na ua o manino ma o popula lava tato mta upu o le tuele ngang whaatai le aso ma tato fontanga. Ai, e watu pele ngang whaatai I le malu fu e le tato atunu. Ta tonu lava o le nei ta penanga e pean sao noa le fionga le whaatonu ia e lava i ona lape ia e fu e so si ta penanga lava e le ato toa a ta tonu fa mo mo lava e ta paulangi e tato ngalu lue whaatasi tato ngalu lue whaatasi wai o le nei a tau whainga ia e mana o mia lava le sosoani mai o le tato atunu e le ua umana whailo atu fo I tato talnoanga nei tai au ta ua tele lava le I le tato talo for pass a mole a whaila wa I eise numero wa sui po wale toe ola tūlanga whapena e mwhaina whaina I tapenanga al tato whainga malo toe asi lunga al tato talo for pass e toe updates pe toe toe tuele numero fo e tūlanga o e tele lava o na lave ia ai oro mato fa moe lava le pa ia mal malo latunu I tūlanga ia ina ia mawhai na whaingo fia I tapenanga ia mawhao o atu I lava ia mea tau wafa pe on tatanoina ia o le popole nei tu lava tai tele lava.
Can I just quickly put this to Austin? Austin, one of the questions that we asked last week as well, people always say, look, it is a Wi-Fi le fale. Can they ring the Office of Medicaid and you guys help that person register? Can that be done or not?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have the EOC mapping team is based out of the Medicaid office, and we've set up like a call center, and our staff are constantly on the phones, calling on a daily basis, calling these cases to register, assisting them with registration, and linking the accounts so they can successfully receive the DOH daily check-ins, and we can provide their names to the EOC and DOE for food assistance. And I just want to reiterate the importance of registering on Tile for Pass and providing the mapping team with your email account, and the right one per se, because it's one thing to register and you have a profile, and it's another to register and provide our team with the email so we can link your account and receive the daily check-ins.
Okay.
Does that answer your...
Thank you very much. Yes, you clarified that. Sorry, coming back to you, just... Yeah.
E mole atele le ngang whaatai fo I tatou officiale o le puipuinga le sanga le mu o le TPS po le Public Safety. Ne te usilingia fo I le malo la tunu po le ale mea o le escort atu ai pe o whaamumu atu ai ia tatou ta'wa leo il teimi le kiliva atu ai tatou tau ia mea tau mafa. O le iai ia le tatou o se whaapulanga fo I le vaenga o le e lua I tū la lea o tau whai tau sisi ai le mamoli atu o mea tau mafa. Ono iai ia o tatou afifi po mea tau mafa e tauna tu tono o le pusa isa se tulo e whaamalulu. O le lua la I tū la lea o tau whai lawa tau sisi ai ia le tatou kilivanga o mea ai. Ia ono tūlanga ia, te uwha le tonu ia tatou mea tau mafa. Te ilawa silingia ia po la me wala toini te awa leo I tono afio ang Le ai, o tau whai ina ia wawe atua le mōlinga o tatou tamatanga ia mea tau mawha i o tatou whianga mahinga. Ngalo whaalalo whaftai.
Whaftai. Austin, you like to have no sugar?
Yes, I just want to say the EOC mapping team, I want to thank our team that consists of the Department of Public Safety, as Deputy Director Marvis Wang I mentioned, as well as Department of Commerce, the GIS team, the Department of Agriculture, and the Homeland Security that we've been working together from the Medicaid office, and as well as the Medicaid office. Ona aduan se famsalang se au nanga le au ne foi office ya me se mapping team. Ya tsat sonu lavan manatsu ole fina ngalo fa le tua o to America Samoa e mangalo ai foi au nanga ia matama faingan malo ne vai tau. Ya fa tai na tosi na ava no.
Fa tai la sunga Austin mo le fa mana no indol pitola au fo el to tanga luenga le to officer. Christina, I'll come to you, and then Margarita before we finish it up with Director Toffel.
All right. You know, this has been something that we've been working on for years. Delivering food issues, making sure the menus and everything, that's what we do on a daily basis. This is not our first, you know, we've been included with mass feeding, any kind of natural disaster, school lunch is there. So we want to thank our director who, you know, came up to us and said if this is doable. So we reached out to USDA. We got the approval that it is okay to feed. So those things have all been lined up before we even initiated. But you also have a team. I have 37 warehouse boys working every day, even nighttime. Because when we get the list, sometimes it's late. So we have a team that stay back because we have to pack. Packing isn't an easy thing. I'll send you some pictures later because we document. We line up our warehouse, every family that's on this list. And according to the number of members, that's how we know how much food goes out for each family.
Can I ask while you're on that
Yes.
particular topic? So do you compile a list of the East, and is that how you work it, or it's just all over?
When
Okay.
we do our delivery schedule, Rita spends a big amount of time to figure out which family is going where and where. So every delivery day, we have about 12 or 14 teams going out.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so all 14 teams, like Deputy was saying, we do try to keep that 2 hour because anything that's frozen, when you take them out of the freezer, you have to make sure it's back into a freezer within 2 hours. Otherwise, it starts to create bacteria and stuff and it doesn't, you know, it's going to spoil. So that was our main request, is get these deliveries to the homes within that 2 hour period. So this is why the police was asked to come, especially to the mountain schools. That way we can expedite the deliveries. They're further out. But we do have a team that works, you know, I would say 24 hours.
The A team.
Yeah. So we have been given the task, and we appreciate everybody's help because we're all working together.
Absolutely,
You guys have
yeah.
your part, we have our part. When the list comes to us, game on. We don't wait. So even late at night, we're kind of putting people together, putting families together. So that's our job. Me and Rita will sit there and fix it, and then we'll go down to the warehouse. But my boys, I really have to send a great big aloha to the boys. You know, they work 10, 12 hours. We have a team that's still writing these issues. So every household, there's a paperwork mountain high, because we have to keep documentations, and that's part of our job. So that's a daily basis. And if we're going to 5 days, which is great because our main purpose is to feed our public, and that's what we do every day. But, you know, a lot of times they forget about school and staff, but I just want to recognize my warehouse, the office staff, and everybody that's been involved, the menu planning people. We all work in one, you know, to do what our boss wants. So when our director calls us for something, we're ready. So I just want to put hats off to our staff, and, you know, we work our best to provide for the community.
Yeah. Yeah. Margarita?
Ya, whaftai atu fo ini. Te masara o lam whaita atu puluka lama ai o le langona lama na nei asu. I whaalonglongo atu fo i saunoanga, whaasuanga fo i awa fo i le tātou ngā nunui whaatasi ai meise le whaamoemoenga mo ina ia mawaise sosoani le tātou atunu. Nau saunoa atu le taitai o le school lunch program. Ia, e whaingofia mea uma. talusanga atu lava le paia man mamalo le atu nu. Lava mai pele on sa e fo inisi wo o atu I o ia mapepa ia o directives. Ia e whaamanulu atu ai ama whaasino ia I le office tau no o ai. E mo wai fo se si whaamana maanga I tūlanga o directives ia le isolation quarantine ai whaamano atu lava whaafitai ne aso. Te msalo wa ngā fo ne aso la tātou tā penai fo Wai ele ia se se tonu msa o e au ngā fo ia tu langa wo o iai nisi fe se inga po o ni whaale tonu. Tātou te tā penai fo ina ia whaale ia tiri le ngā ilu mo tātou ngā luenga ia o se tala pupu atu nā nei aso e mori atu tiri lava le ngā whaafitai.
Hello, whaafitai Makarita. Yeah, Director Tofo.
Yeah, whaafitai lava mo le awanoa. Peo na sau noa umal tatu a ingo au whainga luenga pau lava le tala o le moli atu whaafitai I o tatu staff and personnel o loo whiangai ma le nei wha moi. What I want to say to close out is, first of all of us have shared with our public that is tuning in that this effort during this outbreak, there are literally a dozen agencies involved in the food distribution effort. It's not Medicaid alone, it's not Homeland Security alone, it's not DOE alone. And if I can help wrap this all together so that it's easy to understand, there's basically, the way I see it, three stages of the food assistance process. The first stage is testing, and that is where DOH and LBJ do all of the testing. That is the first point of contact for our community outbreak, where we get the data, right? Is you have to test positive, and when you test positive, that's the first stage. Then you move into the second stage of the COVID outbreak effort in the government managing it. You have to register on the Talofa Pass. And that's the system that allows our government to manage the volume of positive cases to make it easier for us. It's the technology that we're using to streamline our work and the operations. And it's the second phase, and that's where Medicaid is involved, the Department of Commerce is involved, the Department of Homeland Security and the EOC is involved, and the Department of Agriculture are all involved in that effort, because we had to, during this crisis, pool volunteers in for the multiple agencies to make this effort happen. And they are all based at the Medicaid office. That's one of our bases, separate from the EOC and separate from DOH. The third phase of this effort is delivery. And that is when, after we register and get the list organized, that's when that triggers our Department of Education, Department of Public Safety, and the Office of Samoan Affairs. So if you look at it that way, you will understand that there's a reason why you're testing for a reason, and then you come and you register, and then we ask for your patience as we go to the third phase, which is delivery. So that leads me to say we've gotten a lot of confused callers calling. You can't call all 12 separate agencies, and that communication. We also don't want to burden our DOE, warehouse staff that, their task is just to pull the food together and package it together. So what I'm saying is moving forward, and I know this is, going to be more work for our stage 2 agencies, but we're set up for that. The number you want to call for assistance, okay, is 699-4777. Now, I want you to say that that is the number that goes directly to the Medicaid office. We're using the Medicaid office as the base to help coordinate this, because at the EOC, there's a lot of other operational and logistical programs and matters that the EOC is handling. But for the food assistance and the Talofa Pass registration, please call 699-4777. Call us to ask for help. It's difficult for us to take complaints a lot because, there's like 12 agencies involved in this effort. So, but if you tell us what you need, then what we'll do at the home base is we'll filter it out to our agencies that have a part in your issue or in the problem that you're having. And we will work directly with the Department of Education to make sure that they get information on who needs help for delivery and vice versa. Okay, so just so that everybody knows, we're using one number to filter all of our questions so that we can farm it out to the relevant agencies instead of our public calling 10 different numbers for 10 different agencies. So that's the final note that I just want to share for your assistance. You know, on all of our behalfs for the multiple agencies that are involved in this effort and all the directors, at the top of all of this hierarchy is the governor, the GAR, and our task force that help define the policies for this program and this assistance that we're providing to our community. So I extend, you know, our thanks to all the different agencies and especially our ground crew from every agency. And like Christina said, we literally do work 24/7 in trying to make this happen. And we just continue to ask for your patience. And finally, I want to also thank Tosi and our KVCK team. They're the ones that are trying to get out the information. And if we're not doing a good job in doing that public outreach, you know, I do apologize on behalf of our team. And we will continue to improve and work on that as we move forward. But thank you to everyone, and thank you to our task force and to our GAR and to the governor for allowing this to happen.
Malo, whawhtai director tofo, whawhtai rau whiongan whaatonu. E mamori atu le whawhtai mo le whaavano ina mai o le tautai mitau e tala no aire nei mata upu. O le upu moni lava i o se tasiri nei o mata upu tele ina au mai e whisiria le atunu. E le ngata i le tātou talofa pass, ai le ngata i lea o le tuwhatuwhaina o me tau mafa. Ai whawhtai ono o lewa malama nisi o whisili sa whapeo na tu ina mai o le tātou tunu i le nei e whiawhi ia mo ni a tau tali a le ngata lea o le wha malama ina. E mamoli atu le whawhtai o tātou o tunu nai pera sau no atu i a le tabaitai whatonu o le Medicaid o le me mua lava e whai o le whai o lau test. Sau lau test te ke positive. Ia o ngane stara lole o e dunga le tātou talo for pass. O le vaenga lona lua le nā nau wha malama mātu e le afo e le tamaitai whaatonu le vaenga. E le mawhaina e watua se me tau sami po se me ai atu o e pia whaapea e negative lau test mo na malo le atunu na vala au mai wha mole na o lātou e positive po o lātou na saua lātou suenga ia fia i le tātou COVID-19 food maleiva na le pauia o tangata e mawhai o na maua le wha manuianga i lalo le tātou proklame. Ia e whaaftai mo le whaamala mai no le vaenga lau a whionga le tamaitai whaatonu. Ia le ngata fo i lea lau sunga le sui whaatonu le EOC. Ia ma le tawhatua ia Christina Fuala au. Ia ma le whaletua ia Makerita Fiso o le vaenga o le matanga luenga o aonga. Ia le ngata fo i lea le sunga ia Austin a siatama le tātou official Medicaid. Na whaamala mai na tūlanga le tātou talo for pass i le nei a fiafi. Ia, o le tātou polokalame na la se vai foi la faisina mana o longa la titi a toi te liu mai ia no fatasi mai no la ia o le faletua ia Peti Matila o le fatonu o le matanga luenga o le DOC mo le faamala maina o le tātou cash assistance program o le malo mo tātou businessi. We'll take a break. When we do come back, the director of the Department of Commerce, Peti Matila, will be joining us shortly to discuss the cash assistance payment for small businesses. Thank you. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
Talo fatu le tiri mai o le tātou polokalame i le nei a fiafi. Le nāwa mai atu le taranoanga pena tau sisila mai ai masui o le tātou ofisa o le Medicaid, le ngā te lea le ofisa o aonga, e tu sai o le tātou talo for pass, ma le tuwhatuwhai no mea tau mafa i na mamano le atunu ua fia ia unga le COVID-19 maliva. Ai pe ona whaelo atu le fia finei le fo ua mawaile ma avanoa e talatana noa atu ai ma le tamaitai whatonu o le matanga wenga o le DOC ia Betty Matila. E tu sai fo ia se so swani e pe ona fongaina masau noa ma faa manino e le afionga le kova na sili ia le manu pale poisi ale ngā maunga i le vai aso ua tuanai. O le nei so swani o le amawhai o na mawai e nisi o pisinisi na afia ia tupe maua le ngata i lea o ngaio inga masani a pisinisi i le teimi o tātou tapu o le COVID-19. O le afia finei lale o whaatesi mai ia le tamaitai whaatono la wha maalam la maina ia lea so soani tupe o whaingoina o le Cash Assistance Program mo pisinisi ia le ngata fo i lea o aia inga ia mawaianga umai au na sila fia le tangata whai pisinisi mo lea wha amaduanga mai le tātou malo whaafitai le whaatesi mai le nei o fiafi. Last week, the Governor, Honourable Lemanu Palapoisi Alinga Maunga, announced 2 Cash Assistance Program, or CAP, for impacted workers and businesses in the private sector. Now, both programs are funded by the state and local fiscal recovery funds under the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARBA, and will cover the period from February 22nd through to April 18. Now, the Governor said, and I quote, Lieutenant Governor Talawinga and I are grateful to our federal partners for the opportunity to provide direct assistance for our local business community and their employees during these difficult times. The cash assistance for impacted businesses will assist small to medium-sized businesses that, due to public health emergency declaration, were required to close or reduce hours of operation, resulting in a drop in revenue. The program will assist or cover business-related costs like rent, utilities, shipping, and other eligible operations expenses up to $10,000 worth per business establishment. The Department of Commerce will administer the program and provide details for the application process, eligibility criteria, and the distribution plan. Now, speaking about the Department of Commerce, I am delighted to welcome to the program the Director of the Department of Commerce, Betty Matila. Ta lofa ila wafionga tamaitai whaatonu, whaafitai mo le avanoa wa e whaavanoa ina mai se ia whaamanamala mai le tātou wa tunuu o le ngata leo le au whai pisinisi ia le nei whaso soani tā ua le tātou malo, whaafitai.
Whaftai atu tosi mo le avanoa ia e fia fo le nganga e o mo fo le nei taimi e mwhai fo i ona whaasoa toi le malo le tātou atunu e tu sai ma le nei au nanga fo ua matu mai lana fionga ko vana sili ma le lutena ko vana ili nei fo I vai tau tali tonu le loto ia o nisi fo I nei au nanga tau e te tau lava o na wha manino ma wha pula tili I le mamalo la au whai pisinisi ia a o tāpena fo ili nei mtanga luenga tu ina atu le nei au nanga ai whaftai lava mo le wala au li ele nei tu waso.
Betty, mo le sida fia ele e mamano la au whai pisinisi wa e peona le pose lilo I lau whaafunga mai na ngata leo le tātou atunu o nisi o lātou na fia le teimi o tātou tapu o lātou ia e whaia pisinisi ia sida fo ia ia lātou tangata tutongi, tangata whainganuenga tutongi o lātou piri masani matulanga mo whapena peona I sida fia o lātou nu lava le vaenga lea ngai ai le tātou visosoare nei mai le malo whaamole laua fionga le whaatonu.
Ia whaftai lava mo le fesili tā ua I o le nei fesili ia o le peona tā ua e le lana fionga ko vana sili ia e lua ia vai ngā tupe o le Cash Assistance Program o le CAP. O le CAP program la lea o lo o tamawhai atu ai le mtanga luenga o whiwhatawa inga mati na ia e patino tonu lava mo le au whai pisinisi po I lātou sa ia lātou pisinisi na wa a fia fo'i ona o le declaration lea sa whaamatu mai ia Februari luas ful malilua o le tausanga le nei. Ia e le a fia ai la ia au nanga tau ina I tangata whaingaluenga I tutono pisinisi nei. O nei tangata whaingaluenga ia o le lātou CAP assistance, ia o le nāua whaamatu lava ma whaamanino mai e ala mai lea I le ofisa o le HR al tātou malo. Ia o I le Department of Commerce, ia o mātou lai patino la mātou au nanga anga I le au whai pisinisi, whaaftai.
Malo whaaftai, sau noa. Le whaaftai fo I mod whaamalam la maina. E peo na sau noa mai le tamaitai whaatonu o le matanga wenga, po lana matanga wenga o le DOC lea, O la tau le ngafa ma le sosoani nei mō pisinisi. Ai mō tangata whai ngā luenga ia sa ngā luenga pisinisi sa awhia o la tu taimi mai tu la ma tupe maua. E le o le matanga luenga o le DOC e te talusanga iai e te whatu aila o talusanga e le matanga luenga e wa aia tangata whai ngā luenga le malo po le HR. Lau a whionga i le tamaitai whaitonu e mawhaina e sau noa e wha malama o a ia inga. O le anga wa ai o le tangata po le pisinisi i lalo le tata proklame le nei.
Ia malo whaftai mo le visili. O ila tō umai anga wa mo le nei au nanga ia peona tā ua o le tangata whai pisinisi. Ia mua e te tau o na iailana lai sene pisinisi ai le i o ia Februari luas fulma le lua. O le winga le whamatalanga sa te tau o na operate lau pisinisi ai le i o tātou le vavao lea na whaasau i le aso luas fulma lua Februari. So a whapea lau a ieilau lai sene pisinisi le nā vai taimi ia e na shutdown lau pisinisi ia o ina o lo o iloa mai ai o sa afia lau pisinisi i le vavao lea sa whaamatala atu e le malo. Ia o nai pisinisi a afia ia o i lātou ia peo whale o tiulu, o nai whale salons matulanga whapena. Ia o pisinisi umasa patino lava o na whaailoa mai i le polo ingal ko vanasili e tau o na tau fia peli miti foi ia le tatala i nau i tula ia peo i la tona o le apatino ia le nei au nanga or a tato whaperetania ino i la tau ia sa designate as non-essential businesses. Ia ai le whapela o le vavao aina isi pisinisi ele i lisi ina i lunga o le declaration. But o lea sa afia pea lato operation ona o le vavao lea i le aso luas funma lua Februari. So tu ula vai sesi tūlanga as long as o lau pisinisi sa iai i le taimi lea o le vavao ia aina iai fo ia afianga ia o le au nanga lea e tala fiangai mo oi.
Whabora mole peti, a whapea o le pisinisi e tasi le pisinisi, ia mantoa e pisinisi e tolu lai sene le pisinisi la po e tasi. E whawhewhea lana whaia le tūlanga lea, e anga waa pisinisi umai e tolu lalo le whaamalo le pisinisi la po ape tasi a le application le pisinisi e tasi.
Ia whaftai mo le fisili tāua i o le vaenga lea, ia o taluai o na o le 2 miliona ia le seleni lewa whaamatu mai mo le nei au nanga. Ia e talitonu fo i loto, e te tau lava o na tofu sia o mā tātou pisinisi i te tonu o le atunuu. Ia o lea e mawhai lava i le polokalama na o le tasi lava lau talo sanga pe awha apea o oe le corporation e tasi. Ai tolu au lai sene pisinisi ese o rana ia o pisinisi nei. Ia e tasi lava lau application e mawhai ona tu ina mai te tonu o le polokalama ina ia tu ina atu waise au nanga. Ia ai o le option e tu atu ia te oe. E te tau ona e whailoa mai le matamtanga luenga. Po whea o pisinisi nei e tolu, o lo o mo o mia ai, ia le tele o le fisosoani lea, e mawhai ona tu ina atu e mātou. E mawhai fo'oi ona tu watu le option, e split ai evenly across the 3 lea. A whape se fulu wafe, ia le assistance lea anga wa ai, ia lau talasanga. Ia e mawhai ona tu atu e mātou le option, e split evenly ai le se fulu wafe lea. But ele mawhai ona whaatalasanga mai e au pisinisi e tolu ia le application e tasi. So the goal is to spread the wealth across our local businesses. Ina ia tofusia uma, ia tangata whai pisinisi ili nei fo'i fisosoani o maua nei vai tau.
Malo peti, le i suia le tanga ngana mola i lato le o malamalama le tātou ngana Samoa. E mo whai na ofisiri atu oro na e ia vaenga e anga i tono e le fisosoani pe o le tatou piri o le mōli o le aspa ma isi uma vaenga whaapea. O ai si vaenga e ona ma whai ona fisosoani ai ia vaenga fo ia o e fisosoani fo i me meo lo tupe le maua mo rentals, sorry, officer.
Ia whaftai mo le fisili. Ia e o vaenga patino lava nei e mawhai ona tu ina atu wai le fisosoani a le cap i le matanga luenga o le DOC. E mawhai ona tu tongi ai le shipping, air or ocean freight. ia e au anga ilunga le 5 afe tālā ia le au whainga e mawhai ona e talosanga mai ai. Ia e mawhai e fo'i ona tutongi ia tupe o le pili o le utilities. So o le utilities la, ia o le au whainga e mawhai ona talosanga ina e au anga i le 5 afe tālā. Ia a o le vai ngā lau o le pili le nā o le utilities. Ia a fia ai le wila ma le vai. O le pili o le interneti, ia ma le pili o lau telefoni. Pe o vaenga tāua na e lalo o le category le o le utilities. Ia e le ngata e lea e mawhai e le polokalama lea o na tutongi le rent o le space lea o o whaatautai ai lau pisinisi. A whape o rent oi se vaenga o i whangatongo po o whea lawa i tono lea tunu e whaafoe ai lau pisinisi. Ia o le vaenga tonu a lava nai mawhai o na tu atu ai se fisosoani e polokalame. Ia e au lai lunga ana i le tolu wafe tālā le fisosoani. Le ngata fo i lea mawhai o na cover e le mata o polokalama lea le insurance. Ia e au anga i lunga i le afe tālā ia se fisosoani. Pe awha apea sa ieni vaenga tāua lau pisinisi e tutongi e se insurance. Ia e mawhai o na fisosoani atu ai. Le ngata i lea o le propane gas, po le kesi lea wha o ngā ine au ngā umu. Ia e talawhia ngai fo i fisosoani lea mona i whale ainga matulanga whapena. Ia e au fo i le afe tālā ia se fisosoani e mawhai ona tu ina atu i pisinisi. Le ngata i lea e mawhai fo i ona kawai ia le tau o le kesi. Le kesi lea e whiawa i e tatou ta avale. Ia wa le tele fo i ona i pisinisi. Ia o le whiawa i lava i lunga o le tele e mawhai e ona whatau nuu a latou fuafuanga. Ia e mawhai fo i ona polokalama ona whaatupeina e au ana i le afe tālā ia le au nanga lea. O le si fo i vaenga tau e fia whaasoa atu i le tatou atu nuu. Ia o loo wanga vaai fo ia i latou o loo whaalaisene ina e avea ma au whai whaatoanga. Ia manai au whai whaiva. Ia e whapewhea la ona i loa. Ia e loa e mātou ono e iei ia le lisi o laisene po o tapenanga ua uma fo i ona whaailoa mai e le vaenga le ofiso whaatoanga ma le ofiso whainga whaiva. Ia lo iei le lisi o i latou e mwhai ona ngā vaai. So a whapela for a commercial farmer, ia e mawhai ona tu ina atu aise pisosoani au le afe tālā. Whapena foi ia le commercial fisherman, e mawhai foi ona tu ina atu ai ia se au nanga e au foi le afe tālā. Ia peo vaenga patino na e mawhai ona pisosoani atu ai le palokalama. Au le mea pito sili te tau ona whaamalama mo le mamalo le atu nuu. Ia e au lava i le se fulu wafe. E ngata i le se fulu wafe lau talo sanga i le mawhai o na silia atu. Ai awha pe whai fufo i lau talo sanga e ngata i le 5 afe, pe 2 afe, e talawhia ngai ma lau pisinisi. Ia pe o pau fo i lau wale na o le tūlanga o le a mawhai o na au wai ia le sosoani ia le polokalama. Ia au mea umalawa, ia e mawhai lava o na fisili mai le mata ofisa. Ia e mawhai o na tu ina atu wai, ia nisi wha maunga whaftai.
Ma lo whaftai, whabarmole na wafionga le whatonu, o ala pepa e te tauna a vatu le teimi a vatu le tau sanga, e ni forms, o ia po ngi documentations e te tau ona submit atu e tangata whai pisirisi.
Ia whaftai mo le fisili, ia a whaapeo e iei lava le mātou pe patalasanga o uma ona tu whaatasia e te tau lava i le tangata lea mana o mie le fisosoani ona whaatungu le pe patalasanga e fuafua la ia pepa po supporting documents e mawhai ona tu ina mai a ngā ilana request a whaapea mana o mie ia le fisosoani tau pili le wila ma le vai, ia uma fo i ona lisi nā tu i luna o le pepa talasanga, ia pepa i te tau ona au mai tutonu pe iei le kopi o le pili o le wila ma le vai, o lo iei lunga le account number e mawhai ona tutongi e le polokalama nga i le aspa. Ia e fuafua lava i le assistance lea e talasanga mai iei le au whai pisinisi, ia a o mea uma lava ona whaataatia e lunga le pepa talasanga, e te tau ona tu ina mai e le tangata lea o le ata mawhai mai mo le fisosoani lea. Al mea tāua, ia whaatungu le pepa talasanga, ia iai lau laisene pisinisi, ia whapena ia au pepa whaailo e lua po lo ID, ia ia mawhai e ona whaamai a le leilau talasanga, ia maamailo i le matou ofisa pe ata talatu, ia le awanoa e mawhai e ona mai tonu pepa talasanga.
Ma lo whaftai, thank you once again for joining us on this very special program, COVID Safe American Samoa. I'm speaking to the Director of the Department of Commerce, Betty Matila, about the cash assistance programs for businesses. Now, the Director, Fa'amole, yes, word is out there about this cash assistance, and we have received a lot of questions about it. Could you please explain what this cash assistance program is, and also, if you don't mind, touching on the criteria, how people can apply for this assistance? Thank you.
Thank you, Tosi. So we are very happy to share that the cash assistance program under the Department of Commerce is specifically for businesses, or specifically businesses that were impacted by the declaration as of February 22nd, 2022. This includes non-essential businesses and also those who were specifically listed on the declaration to shut down completely because of the COVID spread here on island. But as long as a business can prove that they were impacted by the shutdown, this is an opportunity for them to come and apply. So one thing I'd like to share is, according to the governor's announcement, there are two types of cash assistance programs. So the cash assistance program that we handle here at Department of Commerce is only for business owners or for businesses to come and apply, and it does not include assistance for employees under these businesses. I believe the Department of Human Resources will be catering to employees under the private sector that were impacted. So that's what CAP here at the Department of Commerce is going to be assisting with.
Okay. What business establishments are eligible under this program, Betty? Can you go through it for us, Fa'amole?
Sure. So a lot of the businesses were actually deemed non-essential, but even some were even specified. So some good examples include like restaurants with in-person dining services, movie theaters, gyms and fitness centers, hair salons, barbershops, commercial and personal recreational boating or charter fishing vessels, even bars and nightclubs, construction companies that were not related to an essential function throughout the lockdown. It also includes commercial fishermen and commercial farmers under this assistance. So it's a whole variety of different businesses, but although some of these businesses were not listed on the declaration, but we are willing to look into various types of businesses that can claim they were impacted.
Okay. And so say I'm a corporation that has about numerous business licenses. Can I claim all these? Can these other businesses of mine, can they put in a claim? Or do they just have one application process they have to go through?
Okay, so the goal of CAP is we want to spread the wealth and be able to provide assistance to as many businesses out there that were impacted. And so our goal is to make sure that at least one business will get the assistance. So if you are one corporation and you have 3 or 2 different business licenses under your corporation, you are given the option to choose which of the 2 or which of the 3 needs this assistance the most. You can only get one application to apply for assistance. We cannot have one corporation come in and have 3 different applications under 3 different business licenses. That's not how it works under the CAP program. It's going to be one application per business establishment or corporation, if you will, to receive the assistance from our program. Because another thing I'd like to point out is the cap is only for $2 million. And although it's a lot of money, but we are trying to spread the wealth to as many businesses that are out there in the territory.
Milo, I'm looking at the list here, and it says things that will be covered as things like shipping, utility, commercial, rental, lease, insurance. The list goes on. This is great assistance. I mean, I'm also looking at the fact that farmers are also included under the CAP program.
Yes, so the CAP is basically a brand new type of program that we're putting out there. It's in form of a grant assistance. So we've decided to put various categories that are commonly paid for by businesses. So we thought we'd come up with some sort of a credit assistance. So the categories under CAP include shipping or air and ocean freight costs, and we can assist up to $5,000 worth of shipping costs for the business who requests that assistance. We also cover utilities, up to $5,000 worth of assistance, and under utilities, it falls categories such as electricity and water, as well as internet and phone bills. So it's all that is also included under the utilities section. We can also cover commercial rent or lease for a business that operates in a rental space, and we can provide assistance up to $3,000 worth. We can also cover insurance for the business up to $1,000 worth. This also includes propane gas, and that's the type of assistance that may be needed by businesses such as restaurants. They can get up to $1,000 worth of credit to purchase propane gas for their operation. It also includes fuel costs, because we know that transportation costs for our businesses is important. So we are providing up to $1,000 worth of fuel assistance for our businesses. Also, included in there are our commercial farmers and commercial fishermen. We are able to provide up to $1,000 worth of assistance to them, and this is to help cover for their supplies. For example, if you are a farmer, we already have a list of eligible supplies for farmers that you can go out there to a vendor of your choice and provide an invoice so that we can pay you up to $1,000 worth of farming supplies that you may need. And the same applies to commercial fishermen. We've also worked with the Department of Marine and Wildlife to prepare a list of eligible tools or supplies needed by commercial farmers so that they can also go out and provide an invoice from a vendor of their choice for us to pay up to $1,000 worth of fishing supplies. So those are the specific categories under CAP that we can pay for. But the overall goal is you can get up to $10,000 worth of assistance. So a good example of that is if your company is only willing to apply for shipping and utilities, which both max out at $5,000 each. So with shipping and utilities together, that's already $10,000 worth of assistance. That's how you can request in for up to $10,000. Another good example is if another business might come and ask for a combination of utilities, commercial rent, fuel, and propane gas, and it all amounts to $10,000 worth. That's how they can, categorize the type of assistance they're asking for. We were mindful of the fact that not every business operation is the same, but we know that there are some common costs that they do have. So we want to provide them options so that they can seek assistance through the CAP program.
Betty, say if the monthly rent exceeds some maximum amount per applicant, how would you deal with that?
So we are able to provide some flexible options on those costs. So for example, if your commercial rent is worth $5,000, but we've already mentioned in our program that you can get up to $3,000. So what can happen there is because you have the option up to $10,000 worth of assistance to receive, you may request for up to $5,000 or up to $10,000. You can get the whole $10,000 to go towards your commercial rent lease, moving forward. But then that means you won't be given the opportunity to apply for other categories. Your entire $10,000 assistance is going to go straight to commercial rent or lease. But that flexible option can only be provided to the big ticket items such as shipping, utilities, and commercial rent. We cannot authorize the $10,000 flexibility thing for fuel, propane, gas, and insurance.
What about those businesses that they operate from home, for instance? What sort of assistance can they get under the CAP program?
So really good question, because some of the businesses operate from home. So depending on how they set up their business from home, some businesses might already have a separate account, like a separate utilities account in under the business name at ASPA, so we can pay directly to that. Otherwise, some of them might say that because they're operating from home, it's just one account, which is like a family account at home. So once we find that, we have to prorate down to 25% of the total cost of the assistance that they can have access to. So for example, if they're asking for utilities for a home-based business, and we find out that it's a combination of a home account / business, then we prorate it down to 25% worth of the total cost of utilities, because the goal of the program is to help the business. We cannot commingle helping a business / individual or personal use. So that's how we can be able to assist home-based businesses.
So when they come to apply, they can do it. I'm assuming they can do this online, right? When they apply.
Correct. So once we finish our 7-day public comment period that we're going through right now, and there are no significant changes to the draft narrative that we have, then we can launch the application as early as next week, Monday, and that's April 18th.
Okay. And directors, could you walk us through again, what do they need to provide in terms of the documentations that they have to provide as part of the application?
So on the application, you're going to be prompted, not only you have to complete the standard application for to request for assistance, you have to make sure you attach your valid business license, your 2022 business license, and you have to attach 2 forms of valid identification. And also in the application, we've listed specific supporting documents depending on the type of assistance that you're asking for. If you're asking for shipping assistance, then we may ask you for a copy of a receipt or an invoice that you paid for shipping cost, and we can reimburse you. Another way we can do that is if you have, say, a container that's coming in and you have yet to pay for that cost, we can go ahead and take the invoice for that incoming container shipment and pay for it for you.
Okay, thank you very much, Director. Just very quickly, so taxi drivers, are they eligible to apply under the CAP program?
Taxi drivers, as long as they can prove that they were also impacted by the lockdown because of limited business hours for them, they may apply for this assistance. And a relevant assistance for a taxi driver would be something about fuel. So they can tap into the fuel assistance, which is all the way up to $1,000 worth. One thing I want to note is if you are applying for assistance and you tend to ask for categories that are irrelevant to the type of business that you operate, the program has the right to deny that request or disapprove it, because what you're asking for has to be relevant to the type of business that you have. So since we're talking about a taxi, if a taxi driver comes and asks for shipping cost assistance and commercial rent assistance or utilities, then we will have to ask them to provide proof. But most likely it cannot be approved because the taxi driver has nothing to do with shipping or commercial rental lease unless they have a shared rental space somewhere with other taxi drivers. But the application or the request is on a case-by-case basis, I should say.
Right, Malo. Now, whaamala mai le wharetua, po le tamaitai whatono ia peti matila o le tatou matanga wenga o le DOC, ia nisi o aia inga o le tatou sosoani na le tatou cash assistance program mai le tatou malo. Mo i latou umal au ave ta'avale laiti na tuina mai fasiri, i tusai le tatou proklame na autou whaafonga i le tatou tali mai le tamaitai whatonu, e te tau o na whetau I tonu lava ia le vaenga na afia ai lau pisilisi I lau talosanga le la tu inatu ele whapea whaiteinga ele mawhaina talosanga mo se whesosoani me tau shipping ia pea whapea na paulau business sa whai o la veino lau taxi o e vaenga ia lo whamai o le mai e le tatou matanga luenga o le DOC mo le sila fia le atunuu. Director Matila, we're running out of time unless you have something else that you would like to comment on before we wrap things up.
Thank you very much, Tosi. I just wanted to share that tomorrow, Thursday, April 14th at noon, we are conducting a virtual public meeting. This is to culminate our 7-day public comment period as required by the ARPA. And this is to share about the program and its design. And if there are any concerns or feedback, this is a chance for us to hear from members of the community. And if there are no significant changes after tomorrow's public meeting, then we should be ready to move forward with launching the program early next week. So however, if there are any changes, we will also keep everybody posted if there might be any delays. But given the urgency of the program and the assistance that it provides, I believe all this will be rolled out as early as next week. So thank you again for making this time available for us to share about this new program.
Malo whaftai lau whionga I le whatonu. Ia lana ua whafonga mai ro tātou atunu o le whaamalamala mai nātu. E le whionga le tamaitai whatonu ia Peti Matila o le tātou matanga ruenga o le DOC. Ia inga uma le ngāte leo anga vae mawhauna talusanga le tangata whai pisilisi na afia tupe maua le ngāte lea o le whaangaio inga o lana pisilisi I le teimi o tātou tapul koviti. Mo le sila fia le tātou atunu a whape I se fesili e tu sai o le whaamoemoe le nei e mawhai lava na e wala au le tātou matanga ruenga o le DOC o na mawhape leo na mawhai o na whasosoani atu nisi o le tātou au whai ngā ruenga e tāli se fesili ai le I mataina le whaamoemoe le nei na whauntou whaafonga mai pe no whaamalamala mata le tamaitai whaatonu ia nisi o pepa mawhaina e tapena ina mai e whaamautu ai lau tālo sanga o na mawhai leo na e anga waa le tātou whaamoemoe le nā pe o na whaamalamala matu e ala le sosoani le tātou malo. Ia au whai o tuele tātou polokalame mo le nei vaenga o le afiafi e mamoli atu le whaaftaitele le tātou atunuu ia mo le lava papale le ngāte leo le onsai ia o whea ngai fo isui o le tātou malo le tātou komiti mo le whaamalamala mai nātu mo le atunuu mo le silafia o nisi fo I o fuafuanga alualu mao le tātou malo ia le ngāte leo nisi o proklame whaataatia le tātou malo ia wa lava le sosoani le tātou atunuu e tā ua tele a tātou proklame whaapenei ia na mawhai eo na sosoo le atunuu ia tau whina ngalo ia le ngāta fo I lea ia o le whaamoe le tātou malo e ala ia tātou fuafuanga ia mo le atina e o so tātou atunuu Amerika Samoa mo le atu le whaaftai tele lava mo le whaatesimai le nei a fiafi o la tamaua atu seisi o whaapoponga o le nei polokalame le vai asafou whaaftai ma ia manuia fo I le sauni atu o le tātou atunuu I le whaamanatuina o le aso maliu o le tātou whaaola ia le ngāte lea ia o fuafuanga ia mo le whaamanatuina o le tātou fua I le nei vai aso ia mo le te minei manuia le nei a fiafi whaasoifoia.